is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are here to talk about Detroit Lions minicamp as I go through my top 7 takeaways for the Lions 3-day stretch of minicamp. So let's get it started.
Way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off, and we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap, and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
Welcome everybody to a video. Glad you guys are here. Yes, we're going to talk about Lions minicamp a little bit more. Throughout this week, we've heard about the Detroit Lions doing 7-on-7 drills from the red zone, from midfield, 2-minute drills, and we got a lot of takeaways. But today, it's the 7 main takeaways. So not the little things. It's the big headlines that we have coming out of minicamp, the big takeaways that I have. So let's get into this. These are no particular order. First takeaway I have for the Detroit Lions from minicamp, and this is something that's been ongoing throughout the offseason, honestly, and this is Dan Campbell continues to be his same self. Dan Campbell has not changed at all since the Detroit Lions hired this guy. The same guy that we hired is still here today. Now, it's going to be very tested as the season goes on, the highs and the lows. How can he rally the guys together? How can he keep a positive attitude in the locker room going into another offseason? I mean, he's got a long way ahead of him that he's going to really have to prove himself. But to this point, through minicamp, he continues to be the same guy, and that's extremely important in many different ways. Let's start off with on the field first. He continues to mix in these fun drills to keep it exciting, but also compete. You know, to kind of mix it up a little bit, have some fun. We've heard practices are just way more fun. Players continue to give approval for Dan Campbell, speaking very highly of Dan Campbell, the way that he runs practice. We heard Tim Boyle say that, you know, that was really the selling card for him to come to Detroit. So the same excitement that was here when the players got here still seems to be here for these players now through practice. He mixes in these drills to keep it fun. He said a couple of weeks ago, you want to have players work and compete, but also have fun with it and not really know that they're working. So he mixed into these fun little drills, and we've heard that throughout minicamp, the Lions continue to do these. And I think that's just a great thing to do. We heard about the special teams drill. We heard about the offense and defense running around the circle, and they would have to hit the pad. Whoever did it faster won. And then they have both coaches do it to make it fun, get everybody involved in the action. Aleem McNeil was it versus Penei Sewell throwing the football. Like, they're keeping guys involved, competing, but still getting better. They all have a meaning to the drill. Most drills do. But at the same time, they're competing, and it's fun. It mixes it up a little bit. Instead of doing the same thing every day, it's more laid back. It continues to be the same. And I love that part of Dan Campbell. And he continues to be the same person. And we see it in media pressers, the way that he conducts himself, right? He comes in there with the Grand Prix helmet on, and it's like, who is this guy? Media's like, man, this dude's a clown. But it's him. That's Dan Campbell, and you don't want that to change. You don't want him to, all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, be different, because when the season starts happening, you don't want a different guy if things goes wrong, because you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, but you want to have the same guy, right? You want to have the same uplifting, positive energy guy that people want to be around. It's going to take time, and that's going to be the most important thing. And I know it's early. He's got a long way ahead of him, but up to this point, I will say Dan Campbell continues to be the same person that he was when we hired him, and I think that is extremely important. And we've really heard good things from players about Dan Campbell to this day. Now, let's talk about the next thing. And now this is on the offensive side of the ball. And this has come up pretty much every day in minicamp, so how can I not talk about it? TJ Hockenson and the tight ends should have a big year, but specifically TJ Hockenson. Now, Darren Fells actually brought this up, saying that, TJ, you know, we're trying to bump it to about 12 touchdowns this year. Hey, I'll do the dirty work. I'll block, and you can be the guy going out for a pass in 2 tight end sets, basically. That way you can get those numbers up, and I'll help you with your celebration. Throughout minicamp, all we've heard of is how well TJ Hockenson is performing and how many reps he's getting, how many opportunities, how many passes are thrown his way, his connection with Jared Goff, the chemistry that they have built between each other, off to the sideline talking to each other when they're not on the field, the connection on the field, when to throw it to him, where to put the football. TJ Hockenson speaking very highly of Jared Goff and his competitive nature. To this point, throughout camp, even earlier in the offseason, this was happening as well. It's really been tough to find a guy that could actually keep up with TJ Hockenson. Everybody seemed to struggle, especially in the red zone drills, just because of his size difference against most safeties. Now, yesterday we did hear about the PBU Dean Marlowe had against him, so a couple of guys have gotten some reps, but not only when he's completed, just the fact that they throw it to him so often. I mean, he's going to have a lot of opportunities, you want to believe, this season with the connection that they have between each other. And really the only thing that's slowing him down right now is drops. He has an occasional drops, as maybe maybe a little rusty. Of course, when you get a lot of opportunities, you're going to have some drops here and there. But aside from that, from some other tight ends doing some things as well. So it seems like schematically, it's something the Lions are going to try to go with, is what mismatches are. And apparently, Lions feel like they have some mismatches in the tight end room because the other tight ends are getting involved as well. We've heard about Alex and Mack. Haven't heard a ton from Darren Fells, but it seems like he's going to be kind of like the Josh Hill of this offense. Every once in a while, he may get a completion. But we've heard what Alex Mack has done. Brock Wright, Jake Hausman, both getting involved yesterday. So all the tight ends seem to be getting involved. We know Dan Campbell is a former tight end, so maybe he has a little bit of influence, but he likes those guys. Who's another guy that they can't cover? The running backs. And the running backs have been kind of all over the place. Let's specifically talk about DeAndre Swift, who has just been dominant throughout minicamp. I mean, it seemed like no one could cover this guy. Throughout the entire offseason, we've heard about guys struggling to keep up with DeAndre Swift. Safeties, they're having problems keeping up with him. Linebackers are just usually not that fast. We've heard him breaking guys' ankles. We've heard about the yards after the catch. He's getting reps as a returner. DeAndre Swift has just been a complete matchup nightmare. And we've heard good things from Jamal Williams too, because we know that he has good hands. And let's not stop there. A couple of other running backs have been getting involved, including Michael Warren II, who the Lions signed recently after releasing Rakeem Boyd. We've heard a little bit from him. We've also heard a little bit from guys like Jermar Jefferson, which is how many opportunities he's been getting so far, how many targets he's been getting from a guy like Jared Goff is huge. And you know Goff likes to go to this guy. And the thing is, Swift has shown off pretty good hands so far as well. We've heard about the one-handed bobbling catches in the end zone. To me, that drop is in the back of his mind, and he's using that as motivation. We know the running backs will be involved, and I think that's a big reason why they're interested in Todd Gurley as well, a guy that led the Rams one year in receptions when Jared Goff was there, because they like those receiving sets out the backfield because they see them as mismatch problems. The same thing Jamal Williams was from Green Bay, the ability to line up at the receiver position and just be a problem and make plays after the ball's in their hands, because they are runners, right? They're running backs, so that's in their nature to catch the ball and make guys miss. So to get those guys out in space is where they can be extremely dangerous and cause problems for defenses, especially in man coverage. So it seems like the Lions are running kind of deep with the running back position, but it's all going to be about matchups and mismatches is what Dan Campbell said, and they stuck to the draft. So I guess that goes back to our first point as well. Now, there's been a couple of guys that have kind of stuck out to us so far through minicamp that maybe we weren't sure who they were going to be. You always get a guy that surprises you, and we've had a few. Offensively speaking, I would say the biggest one has to be Victor Bolden. The amount of times Victor Bolden's name's been brought up, not only as a receiver, but also as a return man. Kind of like the favorite potentially to win that position with a guy like Tom Kennedy. But what's setting Victor Bolden apart is not only what he has done as a return man, making guys miss, showing off that top speed, but also what he's done one-on-one drills, being able to beat guys, and then making plays in 7-on-7 where he had the 40-yard completion. Victor Bolden, we've heard about him in so many different areas, and he's been kind of the surprise so far. And with a lot of new turnover at the receiver room, new coaching staff, cheap deals, one-year deals, you have a lot of opportunity, a lot of young guys, a lot of opportunity to win roles, because the new coaching staff, these guys are all new to them. So for a guy like Victor Bolden that maybe doesn't have a ton of film, he has an opportunity to surprise people, and he's done that so far. He's just numbered at number 13, the 5'8" receiver. And I think what's so great about Victor is he can do a couple different things. He could be used as an end-around guy. He could be used as like a running back, because he was actually labeled as a running back in some of his images. He could be used as a receiver, and of course, it seems like I said, he's in a pretty good spot right now in the returner battle. Dan Campbell praised Victor Bolden about his use of leverage to get in position to make a play, and also the explosiveness he's shown off. Heck, he won that little drill that they mixed in there where he had to run around the third circle and hit the pad. He won his matchup. I think he went against Corn Elder, if I remember correctly. So the explosiveness, the leverage, and even Tim Boyle said that, man, he's had some amazing grabs so far. So just all around good notes from a guy like Victor Bolden. You love to hear that from a bubble player, but I think his mismatch ability makes him very intriguing. But there's been a couple of other guys. Now this one a little bit less surprising, because we did a video during the offseason saying that Cephas could be like the Cooper Kupp for Jared Goff. Not completely, and obviously we brought in Amon-Ra St. Brown, but we have heard some good things from Quintez Cephas as well, specifically his route running. We have as well for Amon-Ra St. Brown, but Cephas' route running ability to get open and the praise that he's gotten from Antoine Randall L, same thing with Victor Bolden, and Dan Campbell, the guys that are really showing up offensively. Quintez Cephas is one of those guys that have really been standing out. Those two guys have to be, to me, probably the surprises so far offensively, maybe guys that you didn't completely expect. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I honestly got to give it to a couple of players here. First off, AJ Parker, and this was really capped off yesterday by his interception to finish practice against Damian Ratley. But I've heard good things out of AJ Parker. The second team reps that he's getting, he seems like, as of now, if I was a betting man who's going to make the team, I would say he makes the final roster for the Detroit Lions. His ability to play slot on the outside, his aggressive play style, just demeanor playing the cornerback position, to me fits really well in the NFL. And AJ Parker has been getting his name out there a little bit against good competition, doing some big things. Another guy I can't not mention is Michael Ford. What Michael Ford has done is huge. Michael Ford has potentially put himself into the starting slot role for the Detroit Lions. I know it's early, but to this point, he is the starting nickel for the Lions, not Corn Elder. Now, obviously, by the time the season starts, it could change. It could be just things the Lions are doing to rotate, who's getting the reps when. But right now, Mike Ford is the starting slot cornerback. A lot of new players, a lot of turnover. You're not really sure what you're going to get. It leaves spots open, specifically in the secondary, but really everywhere there are spots open, and they're open for the taking. Tight end, receiver, cornerback, safety, line. I mean, they're all open for the taking, and we've seen a lot of competition, which is great, and things are going to change all the way up to the season. But a guy like Mike Ford, what he's done from the slot position, being able to cover a guy like Rashad Perriman, having a PBU against Perriman, I think was huge. We know he has the speed. He's done well when he's got on the field, and this could be an opportunity with all the change for him to finally find a role with the Detroit Lions and potentially be part of the future here. He's always been kind of like, okay, he's on the team. He may play a few snaps, but that's about as far as he's going to get. However, this could be his chance to break through, and he may finally be doing that with the Detroit Lions. So Mike Ford, definitely got to give him credit where credit is due defensively. But the competition is real, like I said, at every position. Now, Jeffrey Okudah, you can't forget to mention Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah just seems like a different guy this season. And it's not just on the field, it's also, well, it is both on the field, but it's not just in his play, it's also in how he is acting, how he's conducting himself, how loud he is, how engaging he is, yelling from the sideline. He's more confident, he's more comfortable, he's louder. Really becoming, to me, somewhat of a leader for this defense. I mean, like we said, there's so much turnover that second-year players that were here last season, aren't that easy to find. He's much more comfortable, and hopefully that leads to a good season. We've heard good things from him when he's playing in coverage. We've heard good notes there. Pretty good coverage from afar. Haven't gotten an interception yet, but we've heard pretty good coverage. Got beat a few times, but it was usually by a mistake by somebody else. But it's really just the way that he stepped up and became a vocal leader for the Detroit Lions, to me, is huge defensively. But there's a lot of spots open. It went from being Jeff Okudah and Quentin Dunbar to now it's Jeff Okudah and Amani Oruwariye, right? We see Mike Ford potentially taking over the slot role. Regardless, the fact is there's going to be a lot of players interchanging in and out, and that's good because you're going to have depth that you can rely upon, but it's also leaving a lot of spots open for guys to take position. Let's stay on the defensive side of the ball real quick. I can't not mention this guy because we did a video on him. This is Jahlani Tavai. Jahlani Tavai. What we've been hearing from Tavai is making me super excited because we know Jalen Reagor has missed some time. Derek Barnes missed some time. However, he's coming back, though. He's good. He's back. He's been practicing recently. We've had some linebackers miss some time, right? Jamie Collins wasn't here at OTAs, but specifically focusing on minicamp, but this does build off of OTAs as well, is Jahlani Tavai. It's clear he's gotten lighter, he's gotten quicker, and it's helped him a ton. Look, this is a very smart player. Me was really, and you can go watch my breakdown video, was really in a bad position last year after the Lions made a lot of turnover happen in the linebacker room. It kind of pushed him out of his position that he did well at as a rookie, and he wasn't really able to build on that. Pushing 268, I mean, that's Trey Flowers size for a guy in Jahlani Tavai, and that was a problem. Him getting lighter, getting quicker, potentially, I mean, it should be a better coaching staff as well, but I think for Tavai, we're seeing what, okay, we knew instinctually was there, but now we're able to see the athleticism. I think those things are starting to really tie together. There's confidence. Like we mentioned, there's a lot of spots open. Alex Anzalone, right? Not a very expensive deal there. You brought Jalen Reagor back. You have Sean Dion Hamilton on a futures contract. There's a lot of spots open, but Tavai's been here for a few years. I think he's going back to a position that suits him better, playing the inside linebacker position more for Lions this season, but his ability to bounce to the outside is great. But I think instinctually, very smart player, good in coverage. The issue for him is that he just wasn't quick enough to match up with guys. Now getting quicker, he visually looks slimmer, and coaches have been raving about him throughout the offseason. I think that continues. We hear about the good coverage that he has, not only against, tight ends, but also against running backs. Guys have really struggled to keep up with Swift. However, Tavai has been noted a few times for good coverage against DeAndre Swift and against some of the running backs out of the backfield, and also against the tight end. And let's also point out the fact that for Giants Tavai, this is kind of in a second opportunity. And how often do you get these new coaching staff? We saw what happened to Jared Davis. Same thing with Jalen Reagor as well. A lot of guys, right? A lot of one-year deals, but it's a second chance. What happens when you change coaching staffs? Sometimes you just don't fit the scheme and they move on from you. But Tavai's getting a second chance, like a second opportunity with the new staff. I'm super excited to see him because year 3 could be that breakout year for guys. And this could be the chance for Jahlani Tavai to do that. I think he's on the right path. Yes, when we get to training camp, it's going to be an opportunity to see the offensive line, defensive line. We'll get our takeaways from Penei Sewell. How's the rookie looking? What are the offensive line setups? Who's the first team, second team? We'll get to hear about Darren Powell. I've been waiting for that. And, of course, the young defensive line, Ali McNeil, Levi. So we'll have more takeaways about them. But I also got to bring up Jared Goff. And I think Jared Goff has come out this offseason the way that you wanted him to. He's not come out, being upset, sorry for himself. He's like, no, you know what? I'm going to come out with this little chip on my shoulder that's just sitting there. McVay didn't go well. Okay, let me just move on from that. I'm not going to, throw anything that way. I'm just going to go do my job, and I'm getting prepared for this season. I'm ready to go. He's meeting with players in the offseason. Obviously, there was restrictions and stuff, but he's meeting with players in the offseason, and now here he is, and he's saying, Dan Campbell, he's giving the right response. We got to repair it in our house. We got to be ready to go. But then he got Jared Goff. Like, we're always looking ahead to week one. Like we're looking ahead to week one, and he's come out on fire. The thing is, Jared Goff has had a lot of good days for the Detroit Lions, especially in minicamp as well. Sure, he had some shaky moments. One day he started a little inaccurate, but for the most part, he's passed the test. Going down, scoring a touchdown in his first 2-minute drill opportunity, Jared Goff has come out kind of firing. He's shown off a big arm. He's shown leadership. He's been, honestly, a little bit more engaging, some people have noted, than Stafford was in practice. Jared Goff has come out ready to play, and I feel like he's got that little chip on his shoulder, and he's just kind of ready to prove everybody wrong. He wants to go in. He also is feeling the love from the Lions because he knows the confidence they had, and the Lions not only told him they had confidence, they traded for him, but they also changed his contract, which they kind of had to do. It was a great decision. But they restructured his contract. Then they don't draft a quarterback. Like, they put their confidence in Goff to at least give him an opportunity to try to prove himself this year. Right? Just not necessarily saying, hey, you're a quarterback for the future, you got to prove yourself there, but we're going to give you an opportunity as the guy. And I think Goff has bought into that with the right mentality. He's coming out firing. He's not coming out slow. He's not coming in out of shape. He's like, what's wrong with Goff? He's going to be ready to go. Like, no, he's ready to go. It seems like Jared Goff has done the opposite. No quarterback draft and no competition behind him. Instead of coming in and feeling comfortable, instead he's coming in with the right mindset that this is an opportunity for me to prove that I am the franchise quarterback and I can turn this thing around because you believed in me. Those are the main takeaways that I have from Detroit Lions minicamp. Again, as I said, offseason will be back, continuing with working next week, where we're back for, I think they're still calling it OTAs, where it's all about the young guys, but we're going to see some third-year, fourth-year players. Dan Campbell did say we'll have some takeaways for that. I'm going to be home soon. We're going to have some more videos coming your way. I got some cool things planned, but for now, let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching.